Alright, so the folks over at Junctek sent me over their newest battery monitor. Now, I've been using another sort of an off-branded Junctek called a Wanvon to do my capacity tests. And it's been a real hassle when I have that hooked up to my main system that I use every day. And having to disconnect all of that stuff, reset a bunch of settings, just to do a capacity test on a battery. So I wanted another one, and they were kind enough to send one over. Now, unfortunately, this one's not really doesn't work that well for what I'm trying to do, but I'm trying to do things that 99.9% of other people are not trying to do. And with that in mind, for those 99.9%, I probably would recommend this one over the one that I have. Because there's one small feature that the other one does that this one does not do. And that is the capacity of the battery that you input in there. That's the number that's used to perform the calculations, and it will not display a negative number of the actual amp hour used. And when I'm testing, say, a 100 amp hour battery like this one here, I want to know, can I go over 100 amp hours? Well, what happens with this monitor is it displays 100% when you program it in there, say a 100 amp hour 12 volt battery, and then it gets down to 0%. Because it's used 100 amp hours, it doesn't start counting down beyond that. And that's what I need to be able to do. I'm going to quickly pause this video for a moment and ask you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So go ahead and click that subscribe button and the like button as well while you're at it. Then ring that notification bell to get notifications. I'd really appreciate it. Now let's get back to it. So I can make this work, and I'll show that in the next video when I hooked up this battery here. We're about to do a capacity test in the next video on this watt cycle battery. But what we're going to do today, I'm going to show you what all it comes with and how you hook it all up and go through some of the features of it. So this model here is their newest one, which is a BL140F. Now they do have a smaller, this is a 400 amp shunt here, and they do have one that is smaller than that. And right now on AliExpress, this runs about 45 bucks. So that's a really good deal for a Bluetooth battery monitor that has most of the features that most people are going to want. So what it comes with here is you have your meter, and it has a nice bracket here that you can, there's a bracket that comes with it. I've misplaced that at the moment, but they have several different options of the kind of bracket that you want. And then, or you can cut a hole and slide this in and make a nice flush mount setup if you want it. The other thing that's a nice upgrade is the newer Shunt has a cover on it, whereas the previous models did not have a cover. And I really, really like that because I actually have had some problems with shorting a few things out with this just being exposed like that. So this is a fantastic upgrade that everybody should have. And the hookup of this is much easier than the other one. We're going to go ahead and go through that now, hook this all up, and I'll show you how it all works, and then show the features of the app and how to configure everything. So let's go ahead and do that now. So it comes with the red wire, and this is in order to supply power to the monitor. So it's real simple. It comes with this wire pre-done with a little lug on there, or a little terminal ring. Do a nice twist on there, and there's a little hole in here. You push this little button down to pull up the metal part, and that sits in there. So now this is the red wire that's going to go to your positive, again, to just supply power here. So we'll run that over in a minute here. And then this has a little plug on the end, which comes to this extension cable, which plugs into here. So we'll plug this extension cable into this spot, like so. And the other end plugs into the back of this monitor. Like so. We'll go ahead and set this here for right now. Let's go ahead and get this box out of the way. Now, you'll see on the shunt here, there's two different sides to this. There's the battery side. I guess it's reading upside down here. The battery side and then the load side. And the load side is also if you're testing incoming power. So it's outgoing and incoming power, and it's only the negative that's going to be hooked to this. Is that the only positive thing is this here to add a little tiny bit of power to the monitor. So let's go ahead and get that set up now. So our load is going to be this inverter here. And you do want this coming out straight from the side here so that the cover is going to fit on there good. Get that snugged up. And then we're going to take and hook the other side here. Is going to go here and then to the battery's negative. Go ahead and hook that up. That's snugged up. And then we'll go ahead and get our cover on there. And it's a little weird that this red cable doesn't have a little spot to come out the front. It needs to come out the side here. This is a little difficult to line up, in my opinion. But once you get it set up, it shouldn't be a problem, again, for most people. I just need to be using it all the time and taking it apart. There we go. We'll set that there. And then we'll go ahead and come back out here. And so the negative side of our battery goes here. Snug that up. And then we're going to take our small red wire from the shunt along with our positive lead that's going over here to the inverter and put that on the positive side. I put this on the... It's always a good idea to use the resistor to make sure to charge the capacitors in your inverter before you hook them both together. You just set that on there for, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds or so, just to make sure. Plug that up. All right. So there's our monitor. Again, you could mount that on the wall or wherever you want to do it. I'm just going to set it right here. And let's go ahead and connect the app and see what that looks like. All right, I previously had this configured for a 280 amp hour battery. So we're going to go ahead and change that now because we're about to do a test on a 100 amp hour battery. So we click the little cog icon or the little wheel up there. And this battery full capacity says 280 amp hours. We click that one. And then we click in there and put 100 amp hour, confirm. The battery level is 100%. We'll go ahead and set that up. And you can set up have a slideshow on, this is for the screen, the remote monitor. So it would just keep flipping through the various different screens. You can set the brightness at 50, at any percentage that you want. I have mine at 50%. And you can reverse the display in case you have it mounted upside down. And auto turn off the backlight. You can restart the device, reset the whole thing to default, the app version, and the official website. So it's extremely simple settings, especially compared to the other one. This is what your main screen looks like as you're monitoring your battery. So you can see the amp draw, whether it's charging or discharging, is up in the corner here. You see it says DIS. That is for discharging, because I do not have any power coming into this battery at the moment. And that's about it. All right, so as you can see on the remote monitor here. There are several different options where you can go through or displays different information. And if you remember in the app, there was a rotate screen, and what it would do is every few seconds rotate and just keep showing different stuff. I personally like to just keep it on here. This has everything I need to know. The current voltage of the battery, the amp load or input, the whether it's discharging or charging, and the current percentage capacity of the battery. So overall, I think this is a great device for most people, and it's even a little bit cheaper than my other one at only about 45 bucks over on AliExpress. I'll leave links to that down here in the description if you want to go check it out. Here is my other meter that I use all the time, and this is put out by Junctek, but I believe it's actually made by Junctek. My issue with this one is the app crashes all the time when I'm trying to do a capacity test. For normal everyday use, that wouldn't even bother me, to be honest. It doesn't crash that bad, but it seems to be when it's on for several hours, the app, it wants to reset the Bluetooth or something. And the settings on this are just a lot more complicated. The wiring for it's a lot more complicated. And as you can see, this one did not have the cover. So these are just kind of exposed out here, which is a little bit dangerous. I'm trying to think of a way to add some sort of protection to this. If anybody has any ideas on how I can do that, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'd like to hear it. But for most people, I think this one here is a much better option. It's about 10 bucks cheaper or more, about 15 bucks cheaper, I think. And it has all the information that most people need to know. It doesn't have any tracking or over time like the other one does. And if that's important to you, then I would go ahead and get something a little bit better than this. They do have a newer version of this other one here that does have a cover on it now for the thing, and I'm not sure how much more reliable that one would be, but if you wanted all that data tracking over time and stuff like that, I would go ahead and go with that one. I think it's about 65 bucks, and I'll leave a link to that one too down in the description to help you find it. But for most people, I think this is a great option for 45 bucks. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.